Imagine a life where every decision is yours alone to make, where every consequence lands squarely on your chest, where the weight of the world rests on your shoulders with no one to share the load. Picture a path so solitary that even the air feels heavy with independence. A path where strength isn't just a choice, it's a necessity. This isn't a fantasy, it's the raw, unfiltered reality of the Sigma male, a man who carves his destiny with his own hands, no matter the cost. You're not here for fairy tales, you're here for truth, and it's about to hit hard. Welcome to Sigma Male Community, where we strip away the myths and dive into the gritty, uncharted life of the independent, self-reliant man who embodies stoic strength and an unshakable mindset. Today we're exposing the hidden struggles of the Sigma male, challenges that test your core, forge your spirit, and demand a resilience most will never understand. Buckle up, because this isn't just a video, it's a mirror for your soul. 1. The Atlas Complex. That legendary self-reliant Sigma males are known for? It's no badge of honor, it's a double-edged sword that cuts deeper than anyone realizes. Every decision, every consequence, every ounce of pressure rests solely on your shoulders, with no delegation, no shared blame, no safety net to catch you when you stumble. This isn't freedom in the romantic sense. It's a solitary burden that grinds down even the toughest among us, leaving behind a unique exhaustion only those who carry their entire world alone can truly grasp. The mental load is a constant companion, a silent tax you pay for the privilege of ultimate autonomy, a tax that never lets up, never takes a day off. This is where the stoic lens sharpens the picture. It's not about escaping the weight but mastering how you carry it. Think of Atlas, the titan doomed to hold the heavens, unyielding, unbreakable, yet forever strained. For the Sigma, life mirrors this myth. You're the architect of your fate, but that means every brick, every beam, every collapse is yours to bear. The world doesn't see the strain, it only sees the strength. And that's the trap, because the stronger you appear, the heavier the load becomes. Take the Sigma entrepreneur, for instance, charting his course with no team to lean on. A wrong move doesn't just cost money, it costs sleep, peace, and a piece of his spirit. There's no one to bounce ideas off, no one to shoulder the fallout when the market shifts. It's just him, his mind, and the relentless ticking of the clock. Success feels good, but it's fleeting, because the next decision, the next risk is already looming, and it's his alone to face. The Stoic would say this is the ultimate test of character. Not avoiding responsibility but embracing it fully, knowing it shapes you. Yet even that wisdom doesn't erase the reality. Self-reliance breeds resilience, but it also breeds a bone-deep weariness that lingers like a shadow. You're not weak for feeling it, you're human for enduring it. The Atlas Complex isn't just a challenge, it's a crucible, and you're forged in its fire every single day. 2. The Perpetual Outsider. Fitting in? That's a script Sigma males didn't just skip. They tore it up and burned the pieces. It's not about being contrarian for kicks. It's a visceral rejection of inauthenticity, groupthink, and the pointless social dances everyone else seems to love. But here's the catch. That choice, or rather, that nature, comes with constant friction, a grinding tension that wears you down. You're misunderstood, pegged as aloof or arrogant because your silence carries more weight than their chatter, and the world punishes you for it. Opportunities slip by, promotions go to the schmoozers, and real connection feels like a battlefield strewn with traps. Through a Stoic frame, this is about controlling what you can, your integrity, and letting the rest fall away. But that's easier said than done when society's built for the pack, not the lone wolf. You're not wired to play the game, to clap for mediocrity, or to nod along with the herd. That's your strength, but it's also your curse, because standing apart takes energy, a relentless willpower just to exist in a system that rewards conformity over substance. Picture yourself at a company event, surrounded by fake smiles and shallow small talk. They're networking, you're observing, dissecting, waiting for something real. They call you distant, but you're just allergic to the bullshit, and that allergy costs you. The promotion goes to the guy who kisses the right rings, not the one who gets the job done. It's not bitterness, it's fact, and it's a fact you live with every day. The Stoic mind finds peace in this. You don't need their approval, only your own. But peace doesn't mean it's easy. Being the perpetual outsider is a grind, a test of endurance where the reward is staying true to yourself, even when the world misreads your every move. You're not here to fit in, you're here to stand out, and that's a fight worth winning no matter how tiring it gets. 3. The emotional lockdown and its toxic backlash. Mastering your emotions is your shield, a wall of control that keeps the chaos at bay. But shields don't just block, they trap. Unspoken fears, unprocessed pain, simmering frustrations don't disappear. They pile up, squeeze tight under pressure until they turn into something volatile, something dangerous, emotional plutonium waiting to blow. When it finally erupts, it's not a gentle release, it's a sudden earth-shaking rupture. You vanish from people's lives, flip your world upside down, or lose that iron grip in a way that shocks everyone around you. This isn't failure, it's the overload of a system stretched too thin. Stoicism praises emotional discipline, but it's not about denial, it's about balance. For the Sigma, that balance is a tightrope act gone wrong. You're so good at locking it down that you forget how to let it out. You've trained yourself to weather the storm, but what happens when the storm's inside? It builds, silent and unseen, until the pressure finds a crack, and then it's not just you who feels it, it's everyone caught in the blast radius. Think of the Sigma who's been the rock for years, steady, unflinching, untouchable. Then one day he's gone, quits the job, cuts ties, moves across the country with no warning. To the outside, it's a mystery. To him, it's the only way to survive the detonation. That composure everyone admired? It was a dam holding back a flood, and dams don't last forever. The Stoic takeaway is clear. Control is power, but suppression is a ticking bomb. You don't need to spill your soul to the world, but you do need an outlet. A journal, a confidant, a moment to breathe, before the plutonium takes over. Because when it blows, it's not weakness, it's the cost of carrying too much, too long, alone. 4. The invisible tax of high standards. Your internal compass doesn't just point north, it demands perfection, an unyielding drive that pushes you to heights others can't even see. But that relentless pursuit comes with a price. Your mind turns into a taskmaster, picking apart every flaw, demanding more, never letting you rest. Satisfaction? It's a ghost that vanishes the second you reach it, replaced by the next mountain to climb. This isn't ambition, it's a mental siege that drains your soul, where even kicking back feels like a betrayal of your own standards, locking you in a prison you built yourself. Stoicism values excellence, but it also warns against chasing shadows. For the Sigma, those shadows are everywhere. Every task, every goal, every moment is a chance to be better, and you can't let it slide. That's your fuel, your edge, but it's also your chains. You don't just want to succeed, you need to, not for applause but for the quiet nod you give yourself in the mirror, and even that nod's rare. Imagine the Sigma tweaking a project late into the night, long after it's good enough. To him, good enough is failure. It's got to be flawless, a reflection of his worth. But that drive steals time, energy, joy, things he won't admit he misses until the fatigue sets in. Rest becomes a guilt trip, a voice whispering he's slacking when he dares to pause. The Stoic fix? Redefine victory. Excellence matters, but so does peace. Rest isn't surrender, it's strategy. You're not a machine, you're a man, and even the sharpest blade needs sharpening. The invisible tax of high standards is real, but you can pay it smarter. Push hard, yes, but know when to step back and breathe. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. 5. The Phantom Network. While the world climbs ladders and trades favors, you blaze your own trail, free from the chains of hierarchy. But when the storm rolls in, the truth hits like a sledgehammer. There's no tribe to rally around you, no mentors to pull strings, no crew to soften the blow. Every fight is yours alone, every crisis a one-man war, because you've built a fortress, not a village. This isn't a flaw, it's the raw vulnerability of choosing sovereignty over safety, and it leaves you exposed when the winds howl. Stoicism preaches self-reliance, but even the ancients knew strength in numbers. For the Sigma, that's the rub. You don't need a crowd, but you've got no fallback either. You're the guy everyone leans on, until you're the one swaying and the silence is deafening. It's not pride keeping you solo, it's principle, but principles don't shield you from the cold. Think of the Sigma staring down a crisis, job loss, illness, a dream gone bust. Others call in reinforcements. He digs in alone because that's all he knows. No one offers help, not because they don't care, but because he's never let them see the cracks. That fortress he built? It's a damn good one, solid, tall, and lonely as hell. The Stoic play here is subtle. You don't need an army, but you do need a few good men, trusted souls who get you, who'll stand by without coddling. Sovereignty's your crown, but even kings have councils. Build that phantom network, small but real, and you'll weather the storm stronger, not because you're less but because you're wise. Whether you're living this life or watching it unfold in someone close, know this: the strength you see is just the surface. Beneath it runs a river of choices, sacrifices, and grit forged in flames no one else feels. This isn't a plea for sympathy, it's a call to see the cost of this path, to honor the depth behind the calm. The Sigma doesn't need your tears, he needs your respect, and maybe, just maybe, your understanding. 6. Connections. Chilling paradox. You hunger for depth, for bonds that cut through the noise, yet your own nature, those high walls, that cool detachment, throws up roadblocks at every turn. Relationships happen, sure, but true intimacy? It's a ghost you chase but never catch. You feel, God, do you feel? But letting it out feels like cracking open your chest so you don't, and the result is a loneliness that screams loudest when you're surrounded. This isn't aloofness, it's armor forged from a fear of being truly seen. Stoicism teaches clarity over chaos, but connection's messy, and that's where you stumble. You want someone to get you, to match your intensity, but you've wired yourself to keep them at arm's length. It's not that you don't care, it's that caring too much feels like handing over your power. So you stand alone, craving what you won't let yourself have. Imagine the Sigma at a table with friends, laughing on cue but miles away inside. He wants to say more, to dive deep, but the words stick, because depth means risk and risk means losing control. The irony? He's lonelier with them than he is by himself, a paradox that gnaws at him in the quiet hours. The Stoic answer isn't soft, it's bold. Vulnerability is strength. You don't need to bear it all, but a crack in the wall, a real talk, a shared truth, can bridge the gap. Connection's worth it, not because it's easy, but because it's fuel for a man who's tired of running on empty. Tear down a brick or two, you're tougher than you think. 7. The Misinterpretation Gauntlet. Your every move, rooted in integrity, focused truth, gets twisted by a world that can't read you right. Independence looks like rebellion, calm gets tagged as cold, stepping back is called cocky. You're stuck in a funhouse mirror, dodging judgments and conflicts not because you're wrong, but because your code doesn't match their playbook. It's a draining, endless run through a gauntlet of being misread, all for the crime of being you. Stoicism says let them think what they will, you control your actions, not their eyes. But that's a tall order when every day's a fight to be seen for what you are, not what they assume. You're not here to pander or perform, and they hate that. They want a puppet and you're a damn oak. That clash isn't just tiring, it's isolating. Picture the Sigma pulling back from a heated debate, not because he's weak but because he's done with the noise. They call it arrogance, he calls it sanity. Or the time he skips the office party to recharge, and they whisper he's too good for them. It's not ego, it's survival, and they'll never get it. The Stoic edge? Stand tall anyway. You don't need their nods, you need your own. Misinterpretation's their problem, not yours. Keep walking your path, head high even when the arrows fly. The gauntlet's brutal, but you're built for it, and every step proves it. 8. The Sacrificial Altar of Authenticity. Choosing truth over games, principles over applause isn't noble, it's costly. You ditch the shortcuts, the greased palms, the cozy perks of playing along, and watch the rewards slip to the yes men and ass kissers. Promotions? There's favors? Not yours. Belonging? A pipe dream you traded for staying real. This isn't dumb, it's deliberate, a sacrifice you make knowing the bill comes due in lost chances and hard roads. Stoicism calls this virtue, but it doesn't sugarcoat the price. For the Sigma, authenticity's non-negotiable. You'd rather bleed out than bend, but that choice leaves scars. You're not blind to the game, you just won't play it, and that's a hill you die on every time. The world loves a conformist, you're the wrench in its gears. Think of the Sigma who turns down a cushy gig because it reeks of compromise. He watches the connected glide by while he grinds harder, truer. Or the guy who speaks up when it's unpopular, losing allies but keeping his spine. That's not stubbornness, it's steel, and it costs him plenty. The Stoic truth? It's worth it. Ease is cheap, integrity's rare. You sacrifice the soft life for the real one, and that's power no one can take. Keep your altar bloody, every drop proves you're a man who won't break no matter what they throw at you. 9. The exhaustion of constant vigilance. Your mind's a war room, always on, always scanning, always locked in. It's not just active, it's a machine grinding through threats, plans, emotions, never flipping the switch to off. That relentless hum, analyzing, strategizing, holding the line, drains you in ways no one sees, turning every day into a test of will that leaves no space for just being. This isn't overthinking, it's the cost of keeping your world upright, alone. Stoicism loves a sharp mind, but even it nods to rest. For the Sigma, rest is the enemy, downtimes when the cracks show, when the guard slips. You're wired to anticipate, to control, to stay ahead, and that's your genius, but it's also your cage. The sentry never sleeps, and neither do you, not really. Imagine the Sigma at night, eyes open, brain spinning through tomorrow's moves. Sleep's a stranger because the wheels won't stop. Every angle's a risk, every choice a domino. He's not stressed, he's alive, but that aliveness eats him raw, leaving him running on fumes masked as focus. The Stoic shift? Force the pause. Vigilance is your sword, but even warriors sheath it sometimes. A walk, a blank stare, a breath, something to quiet the machine before it burns out. You're not invincible, you're human, and that's your strength. Own it, rest it, wield it smarter. 10. The silent erosion of support. You radiate capability, a tower of strength no one dares question, so they don't. Friends don't check in, partners don't dig deeper, colleagues lean hard but never look up to see you sway. They assume you're fine because you always are, and that assumption starves you of the support every man needs, even you. You're the pillar, steady, solid, until you're not, and no one notices the cracks because you've hidden them too well. Stoicism's all about standing tall, but it knows we're not islands. For the Sigma, the trap is your own making. You've been so damn good at going it alone that the world forgets you're flesh, not stone. You don't ask for help, not pride, just habit, and they don't offer because you're the guy who doesn't need it. Until you do. Think of the Sigma shouldering a quiet grief, loss, doubt, a blow no one sees. He powers through, jaw set, while friends chat about their day, oblivious. They'd help if they knew, but he won't tell, because pillars don't lean, right? Wrong. That silence erodes what could save him. The Stoic move? Crack the shell. You don't need a crowd, just a signal, a word, a hint, to let them in. Strength isn't hiding the strain, it's owning it enough to ask. The erosion stops when you stop pretending you're unbreakable, because even the tallest towers need a foundation. 11. The burden of unseen battles. Here's the kicker. Your hardest fights are the ones no one sees. The world gawks at your cool head, your wins, your lone wolf swagger, but it misses the chaos inside, the deals you strike with yourself, the weight you haul in silence. That gift of enduring without a spotlight? It's your superpower, and your heaviest chain, because those battles stay yours, unshared, uncheered, making every victory taste like ash and every burden twice as heavy. Stoicism thrives on inner grit, but it doesn't romanticize suffering alone. For the Sigma, that's the gut punch. Your composure's a mask, and behind it's a war, solitude, doubt, the toll of steering your own ship. No one claps for the captain when the storm's in his head, and that invisibility cuts deep. Picture the Sigma nailing a goal, big job, big move, big win. They see the trophy, he sees the nights he wrestled demons to get there, alone. Or the quiet moments he wrestles loss, shame, fear, with no one to spot him. Those unseen battles aren't just hard, they're defining, and they're his to carry, always. The Stoic edge? Name them. Not to the world, to yourself. Write it, speak it, own it, because seeing the fight lightens it. You don't need a parade, you need a mirror and maybe a brother who gets it. The burden's real, but you're realer, stronger for it, every unseen step. This is the Sigma reality, not a dodge from the hard stuff, but a life carved out of struggles most can't even imagine. It's strength, raw, rugged, real, but it's laced with sacrifices that stay hidden in the shadows. At Sigma Male Community, we don't just point at the scars. We hand you the map to turn them into power, the wisdom to rise above, the tools to master this wild, untamed path. If this hit you where you live, if it sparked something fierce in your chest, don't just sit there, do something with it. Reflect on your battles, apply this fire, and join us in forging something unbreakable. Like this video, drop a comment with your story, share it with a man who needs to hear it, and smash that notification bell if you're already in, because your voice, your fight, fuels this brotherhood. We're here for the men who don't just survive but dominate, who chase growth, independence, and excellence with everything they've got. Let's build this together, right now, today, no excuses.